Jockey Michael Walker riding second place, Prince of Arran. Now, he's been fined $10,000 and suspended for 7 race meetings for excessive whip use. Used the whip, I think it was 7 times more than allowed. I think it's 5 times before the final 100 metres what's allowed. He had a red-hot go. And, of course, after a protest, went from 3rd to 2nd.
Yeah, big no-no using the whip too much, especially with all the controversy before the Cup. Lloyd Williams coming out and saying, we don't need it. Damien Oliver said anyone that's ridden a horse will recognise that in a race you do need the whip. So that's the big challenge coming forward for racing, what they do with the whip rules, whether we have it in 12 months' time.
The writing's on the wall, isn't it? It'll become, eventually, they'll phase it out.
Yeah. I think that racing's under the pump and all eyes are on it following that 7:30 report. And it's not news to anyone that horses go to a knackery and end up in an abattoirs, but that image is... And the fact that they're still using whips, I think that it's all over for the whip. I'll give it 12 months.
OK, we'll come back and work out. Frankie Dettori, a little bit of trouble as well. Now, there was that protest, as we mentioned. He rode into 2nd from a long way wide, really, leading. You can see him there in the blue of the white cap. And Craig Williams coming up the inside, pushing straight across. There might be El Paradiso who really cops the brunt of that. Yeah,
and the result was overturned or jiggled around that Frankie's mount went back to 4th. Prince of Arran's so consistent when it ever comes out here. It won the Geelong Cup. It got up to 2nd position, and El Paradiso, who copped the check, got into 3rd position. And Frankie, well, go back a few years, Michelle Payne, there's no movie made about Michelle Payne if there's no Frankie Dettori, because on that occasion in Prince of Penzan's race, he took out half the field, so to allow that saloon passage for the 100-to-1 shot. So, yeah, he's got a history of that, Frankie, and it still eludes in the Cup.
17th ride it was, 17th ride in the Cup, and he's been coming out here for 26 years to try and ride it.
Isn't he? Look, he's one of the best jockeys in the world, certainly the most high-profile jockey. He wants it so bad, but you can't clean people out like that. I know that. I watch one race a year. What's Frankie doing? He's cleaned the whole lot out.
Yeah. So it's not a contact sport.
No, it's not a contact sport.
And the difference between 2nd and 3rd place, Tony, as you would know, was $550,000 prize money. But
yeah, no, it was $10 in the office suite. Prince of Arran was 3rd, suddenly 2nd. Thank you so much.
You should have seen his face once I'd finished explaining it all to him in the office. You mean I get more money?
Wow!
He just went through the protest.
That was an absolute drive-by. I said nothing.
Absolutely. That was... You've won, Dad. You've won the season. How much have I got?
I love my team already. Plenty of beers consumed at Flemington, mostly in the stables, as it turns out, where the horses, they just absolutely get right into it. This is footage, I think, from Saturday.
What about this?
Look at this.
They got a lot of stick for this.
They did. Yeah.
But I hear stories in the Irish horses. They're hammering pints of Guinness all the time.
Yeah.
It's part of the deal, the stout. So
I think this is a gateway, Tony. I think this is a gateway. I mean, we've heard about horses on the coke, and look at the nostrils on them. I mean, they love the spring racing carnival.
Apparently, though, it's not too bad for the horses. Plenty of people...
Good for colic.
Is that right?
Yeah. Good. And humans as well.
the vets have come out and cleared it, so happy days.
They're fine.